Welcome to another episode of Alpha Intuition Podcast. We're going to help you guys crack that crazy girl code. I'm your host, Keisha L. Blair, and joining me are my two returning co-hosts, Essence and Jerry Yarbrough. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Good. How's it going?
Man,
Hey.
chill. I know I sound a little raspy. I was at the podcast summit and kind of want my voice out doing all that screaming. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and get this one popping. All right, so today I'm just go ahead and jump right into it. So we are talking about how to break up with the crazy girl. Now y'all know that's not really my show topic. Come on now, I wouldn't even do y'all like that. So the actual topic of our show today is breaking up with grace and navigating the end of a relationship because we're all adults. So we want to make sure that when we decide that something is over and we no longer want to be in it, or someone else feels that way about us, we want to make sure that we walk away with our heads held high and, we try to make the best of it. Of course, we already know not everybody thinks like that. So, all right, I don't care which one of y'all go first, but let's just talk about what signs do you normally see when you know that you are about to reach the end of a relationship?
Jerry, you're the guy. Do you want to say first? Because you got a look on your face right now.
You got something to process it.
I was actually going to go to the last podcast when you were asking how do men interpret the questions that women ask men, and it was what is it? We need to talk.
Oh, are you talking about the one we did? What women say versus what men hear? Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So you don't, you don't want to be the person holding the bag. You didn't see it coming.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a good place to be. If you did see it coming, more than likely that's because you are really looking for, if you run a real relationship, like you've been, like I said before, you were courting and you were looking for evidence for marriage, right? And then you determine through the evidence, this ain't the one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, you just have to have the hard conversation. I think no matter what, we all have to be ready to have hard conversations. That's a part of life. And
let me ask you a question. So what kind of signals or signs do you think guys start to give off?
Right.
Distance.
Oh, okay. So now while you ponder on those other ones, let me tell you from a female perspective, kind of when you guys get distant, then we don't think about the relationship is ending. We try to think about what did we do in that moment to make you want to become distant. So we're not thinking about, okay, well, guess what? Whatever idea he had of me of being a wife, that's gone out the window. That's not what we think. We think it may be something isolated because usually on our end, you guys just switch it up and we just be like, what happened to Mr. Wonderful? Now I just got this guy who's really like, just being mean to me and rude to me and want to be distant all the time.
And we go into fix it mode.
Oh, yep. Fix it mode.
Well, there's a difference between being distant and being rude, So what I mean by distant, again, what lane are you in? Is the lane marriage? Is the lane relationship? Or is the lane just dating? So if we're talking,
that's like you asking a woman, do you want to go to the mall going to the left? Do you want to go to the mall going to the right? Or do you just want to go straight to the mall? But all the way in our mind, no matter which direction we going, we headed to the mall. So basically, there's really not too much difference from those three that you just named because the end goal for us is always going to be marriage.
Wow. There's no difference.
It's like if we're just dating, it's like, okay, dating first and then we'll have marriage. Okay. And so the path will be the same for it's not like we're going to have to make a left or have to hop over a river. This is our path where we go from girlfriend, where we go from relationship, where we go to wife. So we're one lane all the time.
Right. Now, some women might argue that and be like, well, I might not want, but if this girl is serious about you, yeah. And even then, if the girl benefits from whatever you offer, it's going to be some issues. She's going to go into fix it mode. So, yeah.
Okay. So let me do my best to address what you're saying. A mature man, I believe.
Negro, I'm sorry. I don't want to hear about the mature man. I want to hear about a man that's about to break up with somebody, and this girl don't know what happened. We don't want to hear about no mature man. We want to hear about. I'm like, let me get you out of this professional CEO mode real quick. I need you to just hop into a dude that got off work, that just wanted a beer, and now this girl he don't want to be with no more. Keep coming over. What does he tell her? What signs is he showing?
Baby, so let's say your girl call you. Baby, you coming over today? You coming through? Nah, I can't. I gotta link up with so and so and so and so because of such and such and such and such. And you're probably gonna get that more than you normally got it, you know. Um, I think that's and not as considerate, not as he would not be as considerate to you, may not be as definitely not as thoughtful
Yeah.
because we're ready to exit or we're seriously anticipating exiting the relationship. So I think that's probably what you're going to get. Like I said, the distance and less consideration.
So, but why don't you just get a conversation and say, hey, you know what? I don't think this is going to work out. Why do you
But
create that
again,
distance instead of just being honest and telling that person, hey, it's over, or hey, I need some space. You're not saying instead of just being distant.
but my point is that's what a mature man would do. A mature man is gonna understand, a mature man may just ghost you, period. Like
There, now,
yeah,
okay, that sounds more like it. Let's just go there.
yeah.
He ain't just gonna tell you nothing. No, I'm like, I'm waiting. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna listen.
because I don't have time to be explaining it. It's not, if you don't know, I'm not trying to explain it to
And
you.
see, that would be the rudeness right
I
there
don't
because you would want to.
Right.
That's rude. If
If
you
that's maturity, I'm pissed.
yeah,
I'm pissed at your maturity at that point. Like I need it, and that's if I even care to have the conversation. Because sometimes it's mutual. Sometimes
because why would you go somebody as opposed to not just owning up to the conversation and just having that conversation?
again, relationship. How long have you been together? Do you live together? All of these things are factors. So we're trying to do it I'm looking at it as I got mommy
Again,
spot.
we going to the mall. We going to the mall.
Yo,
I mean, whether you want to go walk in, whether you want to get on a bus, or whether you want to take a limo, we going to the mall.
oh, my eyes just won't stop watering, y'all.
okay,
Over here.
okay, okay.
The
I'm gonna
conversation should still be the same, whether you're dating, whether you're in a relationship, or whether you're married. You should still
no,
have enough respect for that person to
no,
give them that. Why not?
no. It depends on what they're doing.
As far as you
How are
just
you
realize it.
acting? Are you flipping on me for no reason? Are you sweating me about stuff you ought not be sweating me about? Are you trying to be in my ear about somebody that's close to me disrespectfully? Like it
So,
depends on what you do.
so what you're saying is, so you're saying, and I heard you say this a minute ago, that women, we should already know when it comes to that point. So when y'all just ghost or whatever, we should already know like why that happened.
No, that's not what I mean. What I mean is that we all have instincts, whether you want to deny them or um, or or embrace them. We all have instincts. So you feel a little something, something. So if you're with a guy that is still spending time with you, but it's slowing down, it doesn't feel the same, then in my opinion, the woman needs to step up and say, hey, I'm not feeling what's going on, or I feel something different. What's going on? And the mature man is going to say, okay, he's probably going to take a minute, not say nothing, think about what he wants to say, how he wants to say it, and let the conversation proceed. Immature man, oh, baby, what you mean? Immature dude's going to gaslight you. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
Not just an immature, a manipulative man. So let's say
Narcissistic, manipulative, all that good stuff.
I ain't gonna say narcissistic.
I'll
That's
say
different. Okay, I got you. But I understand. But I think you really have to. The guy is really gonna have to step up and have that conversation if it's put on the table. Um, the woman needs to understand what type of man is she dealing with. If he's immature, or if he's immature and gonna gaslight, or is he mature and he's gonna sit there and have an open, honest conversation with you. And no matter what, because of the time you've spent with us, we're still, if we're a mature man, going to try to be nice, or assume some blame maybe, or whatever, depending on what it is. Again, what you've done to make us start going, I think life might be better without her, is important, and that plays a factor in how we broach that conversation.
Mm.
Oh, let me interject real quick because you said two things that we'll notice as women, or should notice as women, which is distance. And you said, this is the thing, less consideration. I totally agree with those. I might not like it. Nobody necessarily likes it, I guess, but I definitely agree, especially with the showing less consideration, because you do have this guy in the beginning that's like, oh my gosh, like I gotta have every minute with you. I'm giving you this. I'm making my time available. I'm blah, blah. So when that
Okay,
begins to
wait.
back,
So for me, because you saying too many big words. So you're saying that what did you call them, men that are what?
What did I say?
What did you call them, men who are what? You said they're well, what
What
I
is
heard,
that?
I just want to make sure that I heard it right. You said inconsiderate or non-considerate or something like that?
Oh, they're just less considerate. They're
Less
just being
considerate.
less
I was gonna
considerate.
say unavailable, right? Meaning like when you call them, they unavailable all the time. Is that what you're talking about?
Not
No.
necessarily that. Like for instance, hey, you know what? Used to come, it could be 3 o'clock in the morning. Something happened to my car. Can you come help? Oh, really? What did you call AAA?
Well,
As
that's being
opposed to I'm on
unavailable.
my
What are
way.
you talking about?
Wait,
What are you
That's what
talking
I'm
about
trying to
here?
ask.
wait, that's not what I mean when I say less
Okay.
considerate. Okay, it's if you don't live together, he normally shows up with something for you, or
Mm,
you ask him, hey, can you help me with such and such? uh yeah, baby, but I got a whoop de whoop first,
That's,
right? Whereas normally he would have put down what he was doing, and you
So
know
basically, where he used to put you first and say, "Hey, I'm gonna go and stop at the store on the way to your house," and now it's like, "I got to go to the store. I'll stop by and see you on the way," as opposed to
right.
making the store his first spot. You used to be his first spot, and now you're just something that he can do while he's out that way.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
the priority is different. And I kind of, I mean, think about it. If you're not happy with someone, like, or even in your job, or you're not happy with your dog, you're not happy with your cat, you're not happy with your kid, you're not as joyful in your interactions with
So now
that
you
other,
talking about cats and dogs.
huh?
That's a good.
What?
That's a good one.
That's what I get, right? I said,
Mm,
now you're talking about cats and dogs.
I'm
Now,
just
I know, but he put the cats and dogs before the kids, girl. He put the cats and dogs before
You know
the
what I
kids.
mean?
okay.
He got cats and dogs. I know. I get it, Jerry. That was on the
So,
brain for me.
To some
but I
people.
think it's no matter what. It's just to say a another being
Mm.
that is innocent and doesn't have any clue as to what's going on, right? It's all inside the other person's head, the one that's upset, the one that's not happy, you know. Um, and the maturity, in my opinion, is where you kick in and you start speaking on what, hey, you crossed this boundary.
Mm.
Hey, you really got out of pocket on this or that,
You
you
start
know.
discussing your deal breakers that really should have been discussed at the beginning of the relationship.
You could say that, but a lot of times you don't even know that they're deal breakers because
Mm.
we're growing and changing all the way along. So as we're growing and changing, you have these new boundaries, and you didn't even know that they were something that you needed
All
to
right,
defend.
hold up. So if you didn't know,
So
how in the world is a woman supposed to know?
that's both sexes, but the point of
Well,
the
the other person
conversation.
supposed to know. If you don't even know yourself, how is the other person supposed to know? And then you use this as a qualifier to break up.
Well, no, no, no. Are you in love? Is she in love with him? Is he in love with her? If you are in love, you're supposed to be able to sit back and openly take what someone gives you and say, hey, I really need you to change these things, or I really need you to understand that this is a boundary that I didn't even know that I had, and I apologize for having to throw this on you, but I realize it's really it's really it's really pissing me off, and I'm trying to figure out how to deal with it. Can you navigate a different way in this or that situation? It's communication. It goes back to that no matter what. If those things are not addressed, then you're going to end up coming to a place of a decision needs to be made to move forward or not. And I mean, that's just how it rolls, no matter whether we wanted to or not. It's just how it's going to go. So, as far as a man trying to um, put that distance, it might be because he's trying to figure out the best way to address this. Maybe he doesn't even want to break up. Maybe he doesn't even want to break up.
Oh, okay. So, but I
Say
mean, you're
again?
trying to put some space in there before the breakup, or you're putting space to try to figure out if that's the direction that you want to go.
If you really like that woman, yes. If you really love that woman, hell yes. You're going to try to, okay, is this me or is this her? Am I overreacting? You might get some guidance or some wisdom from someone else that's older than you or that you've seen already go through it. You might reach out if you have that type of circle. And then but you still got to make the decision in the end. It's your life as a man and as a woman, but as a man, you're going to have to make a decision because I'm not trying to be, locked in forever, and I don't want to be.
So what do you do?
I hope I answered your question. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Well, I wanted to say something though, because when you really look at it, men and women have very similar responses leading up to a breakup. So for any men that's wondering what to look for with women, it's also the distancing, but it's going to be a huge lack probably in physical contact as well, and an emotional distancing. And then we ain't even gonna get mad at you no more. Like we ain't even gonna care. So just for men to kind of get that, insight too. We're gonna change our priorities. We hyper independent.
Well, yes, we might, may even be, a little, maybe not mean, but not as nice as we used to be.
True. Facts.
We won't be as considerate either. You know what I mean?
Why you not your head, Jerry?
Because if I'm not happy and I want to part ways, then I'm gonna just let it be known that, hey, it's not working. Or
that's the adult thing to do.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
it's
the
just
thing to do.
Well, that's what I mean as far as really sticking to what needs to be done and having the hard conversations. It's not easy. It's just not easy.
I do see what you mean by different lanes, because if it's a wife, you will go about it differently rather than a girl you just dated for 3 months. I get that. We don't like that, but I do get that. So, okay. Keisha, you were still saying something.
No, I was just wondering. I was just going to our next topic because I wanted him to finish his thought like he was going there about just stages for what do you do when you break up with somebody and then it gets emotional? Like, even on both sides, but we'll just take it from like the male point of view. Like when you have a woman and you want to leave the relationship, she doesn't want the relationship to end. She gets emotional. I mean, somebody that you care about, how do you navigate that or mitigate that?
You can't mitigate it. It's difficult. It's just difficult. There's no way to mitigate it. There's no way to make it any easier on either party. I mean, honestly, I always say when you have a breakup of a relationship, it's a death, and you have to mourn it. And there are 5 stages to mourning, I believe. So you have to go through those stages. And
that's funny. So I'm gonna stop you right there for 1 second. It's really funny that you say that, because I was thinking about this the other day, and I said, it roughly takes about 100 days to get through something, or like, on average, right? which is roughly, so if you talk about those 5 stages, and it takes about 21 days before you actually before something becomes a habit. You take each one of those, it's like what, 105 days. So roughly around 100 days if you take 3 weeks for each stage.
And that's a healthy
It's so.
person.
I was about to say that's somebody that's probably going, because I remember I had a hard time getting over somebody, even though I didn't even want to be with them. I was like, ooh, it took me, that person was on my brain for like 2 years after I stopped talking
Well,
to
but
him. Not like,
no. I'm not saying they're gonna be swiped clean like Men in Black, and you're never gonna think about them again. But till you get to that point to where you get out of that grief period to where it's not devastating to you anymore. That's what I mean. I'm not meaning that. I mean, I got people I still think about that I dated years ago, but that doesn't mean that I have that same desire that I had all those years ago. Because when you're in that like that, and they say like the 90-day after a breakup, that's a different period that you're in. That 3 months seems like it's gonna last for eternity. Right. So you're going through this and every day gets a little bit better. Probably by like what I'm saying is around day 100 is to where you're actually in a different place to where you may still want it, but you're okay if it doesn't work out.
Man, I broke up. Yeah, I broke up with somebody and I was happy for the breakup. But then I realized, well, hold on, even though I was happy about the breakup, I realized that I was still mourning, like Jerry was saying, the separation, the end of it, because I did have the mall in sight. Like I'm thinking we going to the mall, right? Where I'm thinking we're going to get married. And so it was interesting because I said, well, no, look, no, I said, I do need to grieve this. It took time for me to realize I still need to grieve this. I said, okay, I'm gonna give myself 2 weeks to grieve. And it felt great. And then after that 2 weeks, I was like, okay, I mean, I cried. I felt lonely. I was just like, oh, I really thought that this was going to happen. And it did not. Even though I was happy that the person was gone, I was upset that the vision that had built up, that this person had kind of helped me build, it was just falling apart. It had fallen apart. So I was like, okay, I'll grieve that, I'll grieve all of that because that was a great person and I did enjoy that time. But yeah, so either way, I believe, and my whole point is it is still important, even if you think it probably didn't mean anything, to still take time to grieve the end of something. And I think we just jump into the next thing very quickly without kind of going over what it is that we probably need to observe about ourselves and our choices. Why did it not work out?
It's a rebound because people don't want to deal with those emotions that you have to go through, the different stages that you're supposed to go through to make sure that you go through that breakup life cycle. So it's like a person doesn't want to do that. They may get this to like cycle 1, cycle 2. They'll never make it around or like to the end of cycle 5, right? So they'll get to like cycle 2 and like, okay, I need to just go ahead. It's just too hard right now. It's too difficult. I don't want to deal with this. I want to do something to take my mind off of this. So whether it's going to be with another person, whether it's drugs and alcohol, whether it's whatever, video games, whether it's whatever, there's some type of other addiction that you are looking for as a quick fix because the relationship part that you were in, subconsciously, it was similar to an addiction. So here it is, you're addicted to this person. You want to be with them. You want to see them. You don't want to go through the period that you need to go through to detox from that relationship.
And then you have, exactly. And then you have people that just don't want to be alone. So they jump into the next thing because it's like,
it's the same thing. But why do they not want to be alone? Because they don't want to deal with the cycle that comes along with it. They want that quick fix because they're addicted to the relationship.
Right. Well, and here's the thing is that people
they're addicted to the emotions that come along with the relationship.
Yes. And then from childhood, again, the stuff that we overlook sometimes, the holes that weren't filled, we still want affection, but we might not like that person. So I got to go to the next person and try to fill that hole up. So yeah, it's sometimes it's like.
Well, it's like being addicted to any type of, something that causes an addiction, whether it's a drug, whether it's alcohol, whether it's social media, whether it's a relationship, whether it's sexual. There's a lot of different things. People can be gambling, do something to just take your mind off that and get that feeling that you normally would get from whatever that other sensation was.
Netflix.
Anything.
Yep. So as far as coping for the aftermath, the emotional aftermath, or did you want to go back and still give some more on that other one, on the previous topic?
Me?
Well, this like we were saying, like how do you strategies for
That's
coping with
free.
emotional aftermath? Like how do you get away, or how do you decide that okay, yeah, I wanted to end. Some people, how do they deal with it? The strategy that they have, like you said, is ghosting people. It's like you're just
Hmm.
gonna ghost because you don't have that's your extra strategy is just I'm gone. Somebody else's extra strategy may be okay, I want to have this conversation. Another one's maybe let's talk on the phone. I'm going to text. So there's a different things that you can do as far as the strategies. There's strategies for coping with an emotional aftermath. You know, that's trying to prevent an emotional aftermath. But when it still comes and that person is coming at you, the different strategies would be, I would say, try to not cause it to escalate. Meaning, like if somebody decides they want to break up and they show up at your home, don't threaten to call the police. If of course if there's other
Yeah.
things going on, but it's like if this person just wants a conversation, would it hurt you to give that person a conversation?
It
Especially if it's
could.
the first time. Now, if
Well,
it's
you wouldn't want
repetitive,
to.
totally different. If it's repetitive and they come over there and it's like, look, this is to me. Let me back up. If somebody that you claimed you once cared for, to give them a conversation after a breakup, I don't think that's unreasonable. Now, if they come conversation, if his 5 conversations later and they're still coming, 100%. But that first initial one, I don't think there's anything wrong with granting a person a conversation because they're dealing with their emotions. This is someone you claimed you once cared for.
Yeah.
Yes, and I
Yeah.
think it's important during that time to be very firm and very clear
Yep.
about about the new boundaries, about the, how I am no longer that person in your life. I had to tell somebody, look, don't contact me like that because I'm not that person anymore. I don't reserve that space in your life and you don't reserve that space in mine. And I believe in the end, I think that people can respect that.
Ooh.
It might be
I don't know how to
frustrated,
take
some
those
of them, because
words,
they're
but
mature.
Jerry,
I'm gonna
what were you
let
gonna
me
say?
say
Jerry.
from a man's perspective, if you're dealing with someone that's not mentally stable, because that happens often,
Okay, we ain't talking
then
about mentally stable. This is emotionally injured. Let's use that because we're not talking about mentally stable. That's totally different because someone is actually maybe acting a certain way because of how they feel emotionally. They were totally fine. I mean, this is the same woman that you approached and wanted to be with in the beginning, and now she's emotionally unstable. You wouldn't have been with that person if they were emotionally unstable. So that's what
I'm
I'm saying is that you get to the end of a relationship, and if someone is hurt inside, then they
I'm
may
not
react
saying
differently.
I'm not saying that you can't have a conversation. What I'm saying is, again, over the course of a relationship, you are gathering evidence. That evidence comes to a point, and if I have determined, yo,
She a little crazy.
where's your brain at? No, 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 no. You
Okay, so
want to,
this is something that you
you
have
want
determined along the way with the evidence in your mind. You thinking that okay, there may be some little off about this person. It's time for me to leave the relationship.
I mean,
I
yeah,
love that.
because my safety, I'm not trying to catch no domestic violence charge. I'm not trying to get into that ignorant stuff because this person don't know how to deal with their emotions. Or this person does not know how to have a difficult conversation, or this person simply like can't do the math, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very, very, very important to be honest with yourself, first of all, honest with the other person, secondly. And in your honesty with that other person, again, you have to be honest within yourself and do your best to anticipate what may come your way. You do that by the evidence that you have gathered over the time of the relationship. That's how I see it. That's how I see. Okay,
I agree with that.
this
So,
person's level headed. This person's not level headed. Okay, if this person is not level headed because I saw such and such pop off in their life and I sat back like, oh, damn, I might have to deal with this one day. Right. So I see that there's a potential that I didn't see for 2 years, but all of a sudden something happened in their life. Oh,
so
go ahead.
I'm gonna say that I just have a question. I don't think we're gonna make a whole show about this question because my question is, I wonder how soon men reach that I wouldn't say, oh, I'm going to call it an opinion when you determine that somebody, okay, she doesn't know how to do it. Her emotions emotionally stable. So I'm ready to just, I want to end this. I wonder how quickly they reach that conclusion, depending on how much money they spent on that woman.
Nah,
Or
nah,
how soon they have sex with her.
nah. I'm gonna tell you.
I'm gonna say because the least amount of money. Well, no, I mean, but the least amount of money, you don't have a lot tied into it. You don't have a lot invested, so it's a little bit easier to walk away from someone that you've probably invested a lot into.
Nah, not at all.
Yeah.
I think what y'all don't understand about us is, in my opinion, a real man is responsible for you. You may say, well, I'm an independent woman, I'm responsible for myself, I take care of my own thing, You may do that. But in the end, truly, in in the heart of, in my opinion, of a real man, my woman is me, my woman, my children. I'm responsible. I'm the umbrella. So she may have an awesome umbrella, but my umbrella is bigger. Um, Man, I can't help that society today is what society is. But I'm just being honest with you. If a man loves a woman, that is, he ain't gonna just lightly throw it away, or I
Mhm.
invested so much, I'm not gonna invest anymore. That's a immature, that's a baby boy. That's not a man. A man is gonna say, hey, I took on this responsibility, and that's not a bad word. Responsibility is not a bad word. I brought this woman into my world, and I'm gonna do all that I can to make this a great thing because I brought her into my world. That's it. So again, the societal norms of today versus what's in our DNA is two totally different things. And I truly believe that until a lot of men wake up to what I just said, that you bring your woman into your world. You know, I'm never gonna live with a woman in her house. I'm never gonna do that. It's never gonna happen. It'll just never happen. It's not an option. It's just not even an option. If I did, it would be temporarily because I'm waiting for another spot to open up for us. It'll never be that I'm moving in with my woman.
What if
That's
it's like a family house that's in her, she's been gifted or willed, whatever. There's no money even owed on the home.
that.
Y'all
I
about to
mean,
rent it up and get some profit.
yeah, that's great and beautiful. We about to turn that into an investment and do something else with it. That's exactly what I would do.
You don't think that's
Like
more
I'm not.
it's a home that you guys have, so why would you?
I would say this. I would say this. Let me be more. Let me be more. A little more open. Her family left her a home. I could maybe do that because her dad put forth that effort, and I'm gonna maintain that home as good or better than he did.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like, why
So
would she have to turn in everything that she
why
has?
though?
Yeah,
Why though? Because I'm honoring his memory, her mama's
of
memory,
course. That's
her
what I mean.
memories in that home. Yeah, I'm gonna honor
Mhm.
that by being a good man to this woman who loved me enough to pull me in on her inheritance, right?
Mhm.
I'm still gonna have a hard time with it. I'm gonna have a very hard time with that. But I guess I would consider that.
Mm.
But you got divorced and you got the house and I'm your
No, that ain't no
boyfriend.
question. Or we gonna rent it out and make some money on it. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
rent it out, make some money on it if you don't want to sell it.
huh?
If you don't want to sell it, yeah, rent it out and make some money on it. I don't have any emotional tie to it. So for
Yeah,
me, play it how you want to. It's yours to do with as you feel.
correct.
But
Yeah.
pretty much is, I think about it like, what would I teach my son? And number one, what is your goal when you get with a woman, and be honest with yourself about it? Are you looking for a wife? Are you looking for someone to spend time with? Are you looking for, you know, just the interaction, right? And that dictates how you move. So if you find yourself wanting to be in a relationship with this person, and this woman says, "Hey, why don't you move in with me?" It's it's more financially beneficial because we can split the bills and da 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 da. We can do all of that. Sounds really good to a young person. Sounds really good if they have not been taught what I'm saying, which is when you do that, you're moving into her castle. It's not your castle. No matter how much she will say, no, baby, this is,
Yeah.
this is us and da 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 da. The moment you get on her nerves the wrong way, you're gonna hear how that's not your space.
That is not true.
Yeah,
No, I
okay.
have
That's
seen
not
that.
true.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not
okay.
saying it
I think
doesn't happen. I'm
a
not
grown
saying not
man.
all women are that way.
I'm gonna say
I
this. I
have
don't
this
want
a lot.
I don't want my son in that predicament, period. And the only way to avoid that is to move a particular way as a man. Not only that, it garners more respect from the woman that's coming into your life. That's who I am, how I am. And that's
I
what I would want
definitely,
my son. That's all I want my sons
yeah,
to
Well,
move.
I'm gonna say when you have a mature woman that if that's the route that they chose to take, that she's gonna respect that man and would never say something like that. As far as this is
yeah,
my house because you chosen to join with this person, and
yeah.
that shouldn't be a thing. Now I'm not saying all women are like that, but we're talking about mature adults, right? So there is a difference.
Yeah,
And
we're talking
now,
about we're talking about mature adults.
so if it comes time for now, if it comes time to leave and you don't want to leave, then 100%. Oh, you need to get up out of my house. But at that point, it's over, right? It's over. So where you going? No,
All you did was make my
He's like,
point.
no,
right, yeah.
it's over.
You made my point.
If the person does
But
not want to
see,
leave, it's over. So all right, what do you think is going to happen if the relationship is over? You think she gonna move out and
If
it's
the
her parents'
relation
house?
No, 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 no. I didn't go that far. I simply said if a woman has her own spot and y'all in a relationship and she says, come move in with me, it makes more sense. We split the bills. It makes financial sense. It makes sense in the world. But when everything falls to crap, what then? You have to be able to stand on your own.
Yeah,
And it's better for you as a man to bring your woman into your world. You know why? Because when we feel that responsibility for you, truly, I'm never gonna leave you. No, almost no matter what you did. I won't say no matter what, but depending on what you did, how intense the offense, I'm still gonna be like, yo, all right, look, I'm gonna help you get a spot. I'm gonna make sure you get a whip. I'm gonna make
okay.
sure
So
you
you don't
good.
think on the tail end if it were reversed. I
Now,
mean,
now,
well, moved into
if
your place.
If yes, but if it were reversed, how many women are gonna say to their ex-man, I'm gonna help you get a place, I'm gonna help you get a car, I'm gonna make sure your bills is taken care of for a little while you get on your feet and learn to move. Go ahead. I'm listening.
I'm
I
gonna
don't, I don't
I'm
know
gonna
that that's
help
the
you call
norm
your
though.
mom. I'm gonna give you a bus pass. I'm gonna make sure I call you an Uber.
That's
I'm gonna make sure
Keisha
that
right
you
here, girl.
sit down
Yes.
and eat. So yeah, I'm gonna help you call your mom. We're gonna get you an Uber, make sure she's home. And if she's
So
not,
again,
she's gonna be there to let you in the
so
house.
again, so again, y'all can't perhaps y'all can't feel where I'm coming from, but there will be men who watch this that do. When
Right,
I can't I'm on some DNA, I'm on some DNA stuff. I'm not on society independence and I can handle my
right.
own as a man, I can handle my own as a woman. What I'm saying to you is even if you was a good woman to me, but it just ain't working, I'm not gonna
Mhm.
just say, you gotta do your thing. You have to do some serious offense, lack of
But
respect,
Yeah,
things like that for me to just be like, yo, that's a wrap.
yeah,
And that's
that's
happened to
well,
me.
no, and that's good. No, that's actually good, good, good. Yeah.
and
So
I
So
get where you're coming from. What I'm saying,
right.
Jerry, is that
Mm-hmm.
I agree with what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I do see that about you. I have seen that in your life. You are a man where you handle things even after those doors have closed. Um, but I have seen men do that actually. I actually have seen quite a few men do that. At the end of the day, though, when we're talking about the regular dating pool, I think that's setting an expectation that is unrealistic.
Well,
for the typical
wait. Y'all talking about two totally different worlds here because we're talking about being in a relationship
Relationship.
and owning or having property or
Relationship.
moving into someone's home. If you just dating somebody, you ain't moving in with them. You're not even going to
no,
Yeah.
experience
no,
that way you just
no,
described.
no. Hear what
Exactly.
I'm saying. Here, I get where y'all are coming from. But what I'm saying is that it's unfortunate because there are people that I've spoken to all too often who thought they were on this level. One person was on this level and the other person was not. They were somewhere else. They were not as serious. So yes, in a mature, serious situation, this makes sense, right? But for a majority of the situationships that are out there where people are living together, shacking up, doing whatever they doing, and it's just kind of they don't know that it's not love, it's just probably lust and all of these other things, it can get that's why it gets so messy. Stuff like that gets messy. And then while we're talking about the breakups and stuff,
That's
Jerry
just all
actually
about
mentioned
you
something
your
before.
feelings, though. That's about some. I mean, if
Well,
you don't know what stage you're in and you're trying to be in denial on how you feel about someone, you want to call it whatever you want to call it. That's just you. Like he mentioned, that to me, that would signal or identify someone who is unstable in their emotions, and that's probably the person that's probably going to fall off the deep end because they don't even know what level they're at in the first place. So if you're thinking you're here, and the other person is here, there's clearly a gap in there somewhere that needs to be absorbed, and normally it's probably going to be in the disassociated person's head because it's like now you're in this la la land and I don't even know how you got there. So here it is now. I'm ready in a relationship, and then you're saying, "Oh my God, but I thought we were in love." You're like, "With who?" You know? So
here, I was literally just going back and forth with the girl the other night through her and her dude on TikTok. Literally, he is just, I'm like, honey, you are a tool for him. And she could not say, no, he really cares for me. And well, I love him. He doesn't have to love me. And we have such a great relationship and it really works. I said, honey, you not happy? And she was just in denial. She couldn't even admit to the fact that she was programmed. And a lot of women and men are out here just programmed and on the different page. But yes, I definitely still agree
about who they were, maybe had somebody like them, whatever the case may be. But they just clearly the sounds of it was somebody that was like they were on they were dating two different people.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time.
Don't worry, me and Keisha went off to La La. That's fine. We getting back to you, Jerry.
well, no, I'm trying to. I understand what you guys were saying. I think what I'm getting at is that's all childish stuff.
Yes.
I don't care if they're 50. I don't care if they're 45, 35, 25. That's all childish stuff. Yeah, it does happen, sadly, because there's a lot of people that are not where they ought to be. They're not where they ought to be. And that may sound judgmental, but I don't care because that's really the truth, which is why those people are going through what they're going through. So I think that for me,
very judgmental.
I'm trying to look at I'm really trying to look at this like, what would I teach my sons? And that's something that and my nephew and
so what would you teach your daughter?
Oh, I would teach my daughter, you can be here with us until you're ready to be married, if that's the case.
Boy, you gonna make me turn this. You gonna make me flip my little laptop upside down and cut this thing. Why she got to stay with you?
I like that, Jerry. I'm with you.
I did not say she had to. I said if you want to be here, stack your dough, go to school, do what you do, and you meet your man out there, and you like, hey, Dad, I think I'm ready to get married. I'm ready to move out and do this thing. I'm with that. She could be with me till she's 25. As long as she respects the house.
So would your son be able to do the same thing?
Say again?
Would your son be able to do the same thing?
As long as he is in school. If my son, for men, is different. In my opinion, this is how I am. No matter what, he's gonna have to step out on his own and go create his own life.
But your daughter doesn't have a life of her own to go create?
To be able to prepare for the woman that will be with him. That is his responsibility. I understand that this does not coincide with social stuff.
I ain't talking about social nothing. I'm just talking about human beings and how society, like she mentioned, like this programming thing, but it's okay for a guy to go out and to be who he is and become an independent person, but you wouldn't feel the same way about your daughter being that same.
No, I'm not saying that it's all right or not all right. What I'm saying is for my son, when he reaches a certain point, he gonna have to go out there and go make his life happen. For my daughter, she can make her life happen at home under the security of me. See, this is something that we did not have, that we did not really see. So we never saw the benefit thereof. There are other people who have lived this benefit and didn't even realize that it was a benefit. It was just
Yeah.
life. And
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, for my daughters, I want my daughters to be comfortable, supported, and secure in my home if they wish to be. If they wish to go
I
out
would have
there,
given.
if they wish to go out there and find out, because you're gonna F around and you're gonna find out. You're not gonna come back, oh dad, I need, dad, I need, dad, I need. Hey, you need to come home.
So let me just shut this down real quick because I'm gonna have to tell these people this man don't have no children, y'all. Life is not that simple.
I
It does
don't
not
have no
work that
children.
way. We already know this. I'm like, okay, let me pull him out of La La Land real quick because no,
Uh-huh.
that's
But
not what
let
happens.
me, as
Ideally, we
another
would
woman,
like to have that for our children, but when they get older, they become their own peoples.
Yeah,
100%, not persons, but people.
yeah,
And they
yeah.
decide what they're going to do, and whether it's what you want to do, you have this. That is not what they want, and they will get what they want by any means necessary. And
Again,
that's how they are. And then
just
once they leave, hold on. Then once they leave, and male or
mhm.
female, whenever they come back and they say whatever you just say, a daughter, it's a daughter or a son, because guess what? You're a guy, you feel that way about your girls. We're women, we feel that way about our sons. So there's a mother
Mhm,
and son bond, there's a father and daughter
mhm,
bond. So just like you wouldn't let
mhm.
that woman say, no, she got to go back wherever she came from. No, that's my baby girl. Well, guess what? Women will say the same thing. Well, no, that's my son. So no,
So
there's going to be a difference. You're going to do that
Keisha,
same thing with both of your children. You're not
Keisha,
going to distinguish between the two. Go
it-
ahead.
so I'm gonna say this. When it boils down to physical violence, who stands a better chance, a man or a woman?
Depends on who you fighting.
Okay,
typically the man, typically the man, but go ahead.
okay.
Biologically. So go ahead, go ahead.
Wait a minute. What was the question again? Maybe I misunderstood the question.
The question was, oh, I forgot the question.
You said something about who stands a better chance at getting beat up or physical violence or something.
In physical violence. So my job is to provide security in multiple ways. That's my job. My boy's job is gonna be to do the same thing for his family. You're gonna have to step out there. I'm not saying if my kids need help, they fell, they landed on their face, they gotta get up, they gotta come home. I'm not saying I'm gonna deny my boys that, but it's how did you fall? Why did you fall?
And
What
guess
did
what?
you
We
achieve
want to know
along
if
the
we having
way?
that same conversation with our daughters. The same one you having with that man, we're
To-
having with our daughters. It's not just a walk in the park for them. And that's what I want you to understand. See, to you, you're a protector. That's daddy's little girl. You're going to
I think
protect your daughter a different way than what you're going to protect your son. And for us, as far as women, we have training that we have to do with those little girls too. And we want to make sure that even though yes, daddy is a protector, you need to be independent no matter what, because you
I'm
can't.
gonna give I'm gonna tell you something. So someone that was close to me, younger relative of someone extremely close to me, right, was like, um, hey, I want your opinion, Jerry. So this person that was related to someone extremely close to me, um, you know, came to me and was like, I need your opinion. This is a, let's say at the time, 23-year-old woman living on her own with roommates, as you pretty much got to do in America now, in an apartment, whatever, and going through the trials of life. Really good person, very very sweet woman. And anyway, so she tells me her situation, and she says, I want to go home, but I don't feel like I can. And I was like, well, what do you mean? Why do you feel like you can't? I thought she was gonna say because my dad is gonna bug out on me and this, that, and the third. No, she didn't want to go home because she thought she looked like a failure to the world, because this is what the world puts on young women, in my opinion. Again, everything I'm saying is my opinion. Kids, no kids, whatever.
Yeah.
No matter what. Um, so I told her, that's your dad, just go home. She had a mental struggle. I watched the struggle in her mind trying to, how do I how do I make this okay, basically, with what I've been programmed with. And I just said, you, that's your home. Go. You
Mm-hmm.
can be with your dad until you find a man that wants to be with you, until you find a man that wants to pull you under his umbrella, until you find a man that wants to help you be everything that you can be. I'm not going to tell my son that. Come home until you find the woman that will help you be who you can be. It sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? It sounds ridiculous. But we're talking about DNA stuff that nobody wants to admit to.
Yeah.
So, as far as people mourning a breakup, no matter what, I've been through some pretty hellacious breakups in my life, in my time, and the circle around you is a very important thing. And do your best to maintain those relationships while you're in your primary relationship, so that those people are willing to be there for you when you need them. Because if you mistreat them, you move incorrectly, you move with disrespect instead of respect, when you need those individuals to to hold you, to provide you a place to live, to help you escape, to change your environment so that you can get your head right, those people will be there for you. that's
Yeah.
that's how I think is the best way for male or woman, man or woman, to get past the mourning stages of a breakup.
Yeah, and really, all jokes aside, it's like breakups are never easy. Like you said, it's almost like a death that's happening inside of you. So
Yes.
you have to make sure that you work through that. You really should never go through it by yourself. It's always good to be around other people and to be around friends and, even get a therapist. I know some, especially like the Black community, we're kind of afraid of that word, but going to get you a psychiatrist or a psychologist or just someone just to talk to, that is not someone who's going to just help you man bash or woman bash, or just somebody who's actually going to listen and try to give you some great advice on what you need to do to heal and move forward.
Yeah, I
Facts.
totally agree.
Anything else you want to add to that essence about people can do to just to take care of themselves after a breakup and not really try to go off the deep end
Be
and
honest
make
about
somebody want you after they've told you that they don't?
be honest about how you feel and sit back and reflect. Take the time to mourn it. Take the time to go over who they were and who it was that they attracted or were attracted to, and look at it for it being a good time, and then look forward to other good times. That is just a moment, it's just a season. And whether it's a bad breakup or a good breakup, whether you still want that person in your life or not, just appreciate and accept the new reality.
Yeah.
Accept the new reality. Yeah.
That's the biggest thing right there, accepting
Yeah.
the reality that the relationship is over. And there was life before that person and there will be life after that person. You just have to realize what
And
you need to do to take care of
yeah.
yourself first and not worry about the other person. Because most of the time when you're on the person who is receiving the breakup and not giving it, you're probably going to be doing pretty bad. And that other person may not be doing, they're probably going to be doing better than you. Nobody knows how much better, but you need to make sure that you take care of yourself and not focus on what the other person is doing, thinking, or feeling.
Yep. And and here's the thing, something that's helped me before was just looking at videos of whatever pacified me in the moment and being
Mhm.
okay with that. But at the end of the day, being in touch, with myself that, okay, right now, this, all I need to know is that I'm alive, I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm good. And like you said, there will be better times, better days are to come. So, just, I don't know. And then Jerry, I totally agree with you on the whole daughter taking her in and having the kids. Me and my kid's dad, we're doing the same thing for both of them, what they want to do till whatever age. But it's to save and to protect them financially.
Correct.
And then if they have other plans, okay. But yeah, so I thought all
Yeah.
of you guys, both of you guys were saying some really great stuff, and I want to honor that.
No, and
Y'all too.
honestly, but the paths are different for men and women. It's like, we want our daughters to grow up one
Yeah.
way, we want our boys to grow up a different way. We want our men to be, boys to grow up to be strong, loyal men, to stand behind their word. And we want our women to grow up just to be virtuous, to make sure that they are respectful and are feminine in some sense. That's how we want our girls to grow up, to basically always be girls. And never they do grow up and they become women, they become their own people. But ultimately, we want them to be a little bit softer than our sons. We want our sons to grow up to be big and strong, right? So
I ain't got no kids,
And
but
if
I'm
they
working
can
on
I
it.
ain't got no kids, girl. Look,
But I'm
they
working
out
on
there. Look at me. Y'all see this
very
going on.
son on the way, y'all. Very son on the way. What you talking about?
it.
Tell Sham,
I
I
mean,
said,
he's
look, he on the
30
way.
years old, but trust me, he's really older than me, y'all, for real.
You doing it. I'm telling you, it's gonna work out good. All right, but straight up, that having a support system too. Not having a negative support system. I want to add that in there. A lot of people have the F, put on your FM girl dress.
Hi, girl.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Right. There's nothing wrong with that to some degree. Go out, have a good time, but don't make sloppy mistakes. You know what I mean? I want to say that that's not a supportive measure for yourself to make sloppy mistakes by just hitting the streets again, trying to be sexually, physically gratified. Oh, I'm about to play these men. I'm about to play these women. It does not help because now it's too many diseases out there. It's too many people out there getting pregnant.
Really coming to light more than they were, but they've been out there. Yeah.
Yes, but it's worse. Did you hear about Houston? The tens of thousands of diseases in 1 week.
For where?
17,000 or something like that. HIV cases in Houston.
Have you heard about Memphis?
Honey.
Just listen to the TV station and
well,
where the city you live in. Have you heard about Chicago? You know what I mean? It's like they're going to talk about what's going on in their own city. So every city is probably different, I'm sure.
Yes, but we minimize it and we go out and we make these horrible mistakes and then people are paying for that with their lives. So I'll just say, and especially as women with our bodies, that's very, our uteruses and all of that. These young women it's a hot girl culture. So a hot girl summer culture.
Right there. We don't even want to talk about that.
It sure is. No, we ain't gonna talk about it. Well, that's a whole show. Yes, that is a whole show. So yes, just don't go out.
But as far as self-care, just make sure that you so you got to make sure that you take care of yourself after a breakup, seriously, because I mean if you sit by yourself and you don't try to do anything, you're just going to just soak in the moment. That's not going to help you get over or get better
not that either. Just don't make no dumb mistakes. Don't go out there trying to use other people.
Okay, so I'm going just for its and giggles. What is a not so dumb mistake? A mistake is a mistake. So what's the difference? A good mistake, a bad mistake.
Because some mistakes you pay for your life. Some mistakes you got to deal with another person. These men go out there have sex with somebody, not even pop a baby. No, because then they got to know. You asked me, I'm gonna tell you. So I'm gonna tell you. So then you get pregnant, you have a baby. You trying to get over one person, you end up having a baby with the next person that you weren't intending, and now you got a whole life of child support.
That's why they're mistakes. If they weren't dumb, they wouldn't have been a mistake. It would have been a good thing to do. So some mistakes are worse than others. But I'm saying there is no good mistake.
Look here, because a mistake could be, I shouldn't have gone out with that guy knowing that my feelings were crushed. I wasn't ready to date anybody. A dumb mistake is going out, sleeping with somebody unprotected, one night stand, and then you turn right around and wake up with some 3 days later.
It's still a mistake, though. That's my point. My point is that yes, there's some things that are worse than others, but it's still a mistake.
It's level. It's levels. But yes, yeah. So I'm just saying, whether you call out my dumb mistakes or mistakes,
you call it a dumb mistake. I was calling it a mistake.
Let me call it a dumb mistake, because that is a dumb mistake. That's a hurt.
Y'all.
But no, this is good stuff. I hope people really do. I hope guys understand, some of the signs, that women might show. I hope that they got some really great tips also, from a male perspective, and just being able to understand, like, as a man, this is how I can be, this is how, a mature man responds to something, as opposed to maybe they were the guy who's watching, maybe they are the guy that just is very immature, very ignorant, gonna gaslight women, you know what I mean? So hopefully they see this and they're like, I do be gaslighting these women. I probably shouldn't do that. I don't know. So
On that
hopefully
note,
they'll see
y'all know
that.
what? Y'all know what that means? That's it for today's episode.
Mm, mm.
I want to thank you guys for joining us and allowing us, giving us an opportunity to give you more insight on how to break up with a crazy girl. We hope you guys found today's topics to be insightful and very helpful on your quest to cracking the crazy girl code. And as always, we love hearing from our listeners. So if you guys have any questions or topics that you would like for us to talk about on future episodes, just drop us a message and leave us a comment below. And if you enjoyed today's show, don't forget to like, comment, and to subscribe. Or leave us a message or a nice review to get around my monitor. You guys can also connect with us on social media just to join the conversation. But remember that no matter what, when it comes to breaking up, you guys, nothing else, make sure that you take care of yourself first. All right. Well, that's it for today's show. Thank you guys so much. And until next time, peace.